Okay, readers. So, whenever you're reading a book and it's been a while since you've read it, you want to go back in and you want to summarize. You want to review in your mind, okay, what all has happened to this character so you can pick up where you left off. So, we want to review that Keck has now come into a new country. We've discovered that he lived in the Sudan and that the Sudan has two seasons, wet and dry season, and that it's hot all year round. And so when he comes to America, he's coming in from a refugee camp where they taught him a little bit of English. And as he comes in, he's coming in on a plane that he calls a flying boat. And that he's coming to Minnesota, and Minnesota is cold and it's winter time. And so he's very shocked by this. And Dave, the helping man, is the person that has been assigned to him to help him get settled into America. And so he takes Keck to his family, his aunt and his cousin. His cousin's name is Ganwar. And Keck is a very positive, optimistic young boy who is in the fifth grade, and Ganwar is in the 11th grade, and he's very, very negative, only we don't know why. So that's what we've learned so far about the characters. Let's read on and find out what happened. The TV machine. My aunt makes food on the cooking fire. We eat simply, with tastes and smells of my home. And we talk with words and sounds I know, sweet in my mouth. But the more home returns to me, the more I remember what I have lost. I feel the holes where my mother, my father, and my brother should be, my uncle, my aunt's husband, and their other two children, the two girls, younger than Ganwa. Sometimes it seems to me a hole can be as real and solid as a boulder or a tree. Outside snowflakes tap at the window like stubborn mosquitoes. I try out the word snow, then shiver and shake just like Dave. My aunt lets a smile go free. I have to go to work now, she says. What do you mean, work? I want to know. Mama helps at a house for old people, Ganwa explains. His mouth is a line. It's not a good place. It's called a nursing home, says my aunt. And they pay me money so that I can buy things. It takes a lot of money to live here in America. But it's night, I say, and it's cold. My aunt touches my shoulder. You are a young boy, Keck. You are your mother's child. Mama will be glad to see you, I say. I hope she'll be here soon. My aunt looks at me with questions in her eyes. Excuse me. She glances at Ganwa. He looks away. Don't hope too hard, she says in a whispering voice. And then she puts on her coat and leaves. When she's gone, Ganwa and I watched the TV machine. I'd seen one at the airport on the flying boat. But this machine has many more stories, more colors, more happy people and mad people. People are dancing and singing and shooting and kissing and so many people, but they still cannot feel the holes in their room. Night. The pillow, like a mound of grass under my head, is comfort. The blanket is warm as afternoon sun, but I still can't sleep. Ganwa lies without moving, but I know somehow he is not sleeping either. After a while, Ganwa sits up on his elbows. He's just a shadow to my eyes. "What's that cloth you're holding?" he asks. "It's from the camp," I say. It's true, true enough. I did not want to say the whole truth. "Are you glad you're here, Ganwa?" I ask. He breathes in and out, in and out. "This is good land," he says. "There's great freedom here. But even when you travel far, the ghosts don't stay behind. They follow you. You come here to make a good life, a new life, but the old life is still haunting you." We don't say anything for a few minutes. Finally, Ganwa speaks. "They're all gone, Kek. They're all dead." I want to hate Ganwa for his words, but I am too weary for anger. Already, there are so many people to hate. Too many. "Not all," I finally whisper. "Not Mama." He sighs. "It isn't good for you to fool yourself. I've learned that much." "Hoping isn't foolish," I say. "If I can make it all the way here, then everything can happen." He shakes his head. "Crazy boy," Ganwa says. "Hoping doesn't make a thing true. Remember, when you're here, no taller than my knee, and you thought you could talk to the turtle." "They listened," I say. "They just didn't answer." "How about when you believed you could fly? Remember how you jumped from the top of the acacia tree?" "I still have the scar on my elbow," I say. "And anyway, the flying part was fun. Only the landing was troublesome." "You can't make yourself a bird, Keck. Some things will never be." "A man does not give up," I say. "A man knows when he's defeated," Ganwa replies. I wipe a tear away with the soft cloth in my hand. I don't answer. I'm afraid of what the answer might be. "Mama." I have my father's will, my brother's eyes, and my mother's light. She is like a newborn sun, fresh with promise. The just beginning moments before the day feels like a bucket with a good and bad, sweet and longing. Even her laughter has sun in it. Always when I think of her, I see the cloudless day blooming full. I feel warmth on my shoulders. I know hope's embrace. I am just a boy, like any boy. I make trouble. I'm lazy. I kick at the world when I'm mad. I don't know why I have been so lucky to be so loved. Sleep story. I am on the flying boat, and so is Dave and Mama and Father and Luo. People from my village are there, many cows and camels, and a gazelle airplane, Dave says. I tried to say it, kek, but when my mouth opens, the only things that come out are like little puffs of cloud after cloud. You must try harder, Lual says, and I give him my best scowl. He laughs, and then the round window opens, and guns are there, and hating words, and I am screaming empty white clouds of fear. When at last it's quiet, the seats of Lual and my father and all the other men from the village are empty. They're gone. I tell my mama they're dead, and she takes my hand. And when we step outside, it isn't sky we see, but endless barren land, dotted with dead trees, mile after mile, day after day, tear after tear. We travel to a place of tents and women and children. Here in the camp we're safe, she says. The men with guns will not come. My feet are blistered, and her dress of blue and yellow is stained with blood, and all around us snow falls, and my eyes burn with the sight of it. So, we've discovered what the little cloth is that Keck keeps rubbing and keeps tenderly in his pocket. It has something to do with his mom. If I'm not mistaken, let me go back in the text. And her dress of blue and yellow is stained with blood. Remember that the cloth at the beginning of the book was blue and yellow, so perhaps the cloth that is in his pocket that he carries that Ganwar asked about is a piece of his mother's dress. So we also want to summarize when we finish reading. That helps us gather up all the new information and attach it to previous information. The more we summarize, the more we're going to remember. So we've had a lot of questions answered in this chapter. We still don't know why Ganwar is so angry. Okay, but we do know what the yellow and blue cloth are. It's part of his mother's dress. We also learned that he's separated from his mother and that he is hoping that she returns alive. However, his aunt and his cousin are not so confident that they will return or that she will return. And so Keck kind of wrestles with the idea, does he continue to be the hopeful, optimistic child that he has always been, or does he grow up and be more like Ganwar and his aunt? So we shall see what happens in the next installment. Until then, keep reading.